Okay, so this is an explained solution for 4A, B, C, and D. The Richter scale measures earthquake intensity. The increase in intensity between each number is 10 times. For example, an earthquake with a rating of 7 is 10 times more intense than one measuring 6. Find the amount of energy released by the following earthquakes by using this formula. So it's a log base 10 formula, okay? And where m is the magnitude and e is the amount of energy measured in ergs released by the earthquake. And express your answer in scientific notation. So we're going to see how that looks in our calculator as well. So in Japan, in 2011, there was an earthquake that created a nuclear meltdown at one of their facilities. So this earthquake exerted 2 times 10 to the 25th ergs. So how did this earthquake measure on the Richter scale? So the measurement on the Richter scale is m. So what we have to do is look on log base 10 E. So the E is the energy exerted. So that's going to be this. So 2 times 10 to the 25th over 10 to the 11.8. Okay, so we're going to plug that into our calculator to see how that will look. All right. So if we start out with 2/3, right, I'm going to put in parentheses 2 divided by 3, okay, and then multiply it by the log base 10. So you don't have to go up because this log here on the calculator represents base 10 already, so we're good to go. And then I'm going to put parentheses so I can do 2 times 10 to the 25th. It's the over arrow and then divided by, oops, actually, I close the parentheses and then do divided by 10 to the 11.8 and say equals. So that was a 9.0 on the Richter scale. And if the Richter scale is out of 10, just consider how massive that earthquake was. Okay, so make sure that we're placing parentheses around there so you can make sure that it's closing the parentheses and opening at the proper times. Okay, so this next one on December 26th in 2004 off the Indian Ocean in Sumatra, Indonesia, there was an earthquake that exerted 3.98 times 10 to the 25th ergs of energy. So this was the Boxing Day earthquake that occurred in 2004, and it wreaked havoc in the Indian Ocean for many places like Thailand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India. So this was also a massive earthquake that happened in the early 2000s. So we're going to do the same thing, 2/3 log base 10 of, was it 3.98 times 10 to the 25th over 10 to the 11.8. I'm going to plug that into our calculator. So here we go. I have 2 divided by 3 times, oops, not divided by, times log base 10 of parentheses 3.98 times 10 to the 25th. Okay, then I'm going to close the parentheses, and then I'm going to divide that by 11, or 10 to the 11.8. And that one measured a 9.19, so probably a 9.2 is what the news would have reported it as. Okay. So these two problems were primarily calculator skills, plugging it in and making sure you know how to use the calculator. And then for this one, the Northridge earthquake in 1994 was 6.7 on the Richter scale. So if it was a 6.7, that means our M is a 6.7. So if I plug that in, then we have to solve the equation for E. Okay, we have to solve the equation for E. So in order to get rid of this fraction, I'm going to multiply by 3/2 on both sides. So I have 3 over 2 times 6.7. And I'm actually going to do that on my calculator. Okay, 3 divided by 2 times 6.7 and get a number that way. So I got 10.05. And then we have log base 10 of e over the 10 to the 11.8. So now I can write this as exponential form. So 10 to the 10.05 equals e over 10 to the 11.8, and then you can simplify and solve to find out what e is. So now if I'm adding those, I have, or I'm sorry, I'm multiplying, so we got 10 to the 11.8, then over arrow times 10 to the 10.05. And so we got 7.07, and do you see how it says e to the 21st? So the amount of energy is 7.1 times 10 to the 21st. So when you read that, this e means scientific notation. So that means times 10 to the 21st ergs. Okay, so this is us solving for the e in this particular problem. Okay, and then the next one, we had an earthquake in Haiti, and some of you may remember this. And it devastated Port-au-Prince, and Haiti took many years to recover from this, but it was a magnitude of 7 on the Richter scale. Okay, and then there was log base 10 of e over 10 to the 11.8. Okay, so same thing, going to multiply by 3/2. So we got 21 over 2. I'm just going to leave it like that. We got log base 10 of e over 10 to the 11.8. And now I'm going to rewrite it as 10. So 21 divided by 2, we end up with 10.5. So 10 to the 10.5 equals e over 10 to the 11.8. So we got to multiply both sides by 10 to the 11.8. So e ends up being, let me scroll back up here so I can hit enter, and I can just change this to, I'm going to hit delete and go inside 10.5, right? So I made a mistake here. It's just 10.5. Okay, so if I hit enter, then the energy exerted was 1.9, or we could say 2.0 times 10 to the 22nd ergs. Okay. Oh, wait. I went back too far. So when we multiply those, I get 2 times 10 to the 22nd ergs. Okay. All right, so those are the answers explained for number 4.